Come to as a big concern considering how big the United States is compared to other higher populated countries. Ever since the 1960s, the yearly growth rate has been decreasing, and we are fifth place out of 6 regions of the world for population size. This means we're not even close to first place. I ask you, then why should we regulate population growth? Americans already regulate population on their own, from choosing not to have any kids, not being able to, or having the choice of abortion. Hi, my name is Andrew Bodea, and today I am here to tell you why these are all excellent reasons why a two-child regulation is not necessary, and how they already help regulate our population growth. In today's society, people are not as interested in having as many kids as before, especially not as many or any at all. As Copernicus says, born between 1946 and 64, baby boomers represented the largest 20-year age cohort in U.S. history. Baby boomers happened because of the men returning home after the war. There have not been wars requiring couples to be split apart for so long since. Unlike those times, most families are able to see each other every day. Previously, being a mother was expected, but now is more of a choice. The role of women has changed, and they have their own agendas. Individuals and couples are resulting to owning pets over having babies because they're easier to take care of and can be a companion, so you're not completely alone. Animals can be left at home or for hours without needing a sitter and are less expensive to care for. Young women are also not having as many children because they're working the same number of hours as men. Many households also cannot afford the expenses for a stay-at-home parent. Young adults are considered to be at record-breaking high student loan debt. The costs of education have drastically increased, which students cannot afford. Majority of students in college have taken out some loans or are in debt because of them. To provide for a child, being financially stable is a big factor. Finances are a big struggle for those trying to start their own life. As stated by Nika and Marika, financial stress, which is individuals' sense of nervousness related to their existing personal finance situation, and superior levels of self-reported student loan debt are instrumental in a raised probability of dropping college. There are so many expenses that go into moving with your own, such as rent, insurance, car payments, gas, food, etc. Minimum wage makes people's lives living paycheck to paycheck, and that is not ideal for bringing a child into the world. I cannot emphasize enough how stressful a child would be on top of all of those payments, and people are more aware of that now. Relationships are also not as simple as before. The men would work while the women would stay at home and take care of children and house chores. Now, both parents are working and want to go home to relax. Having two parents working and coming home to a demanding child raises the risk for arguments and stress. Couples or individuals are wanting to travel a lot more with each other instead of their children. Relationships are also not as stable as they used to be. With technology advancing so quickly, there are so many dating websites and apps to communicate with others, which initiates cheating. This causes people to even be afraid of dating, getting married, or having children. Additionally, relationships between genders are not always between a male and female. This causes same-sex couples the inability to have children together, so they either don't have any or adopt instead. Instead of having children and putting them up for adoption, abortion has been a popular choice throughout the world. Abortions became legal in many states and countries. As stated by the World Population Review, in the United States, per 1,000 women, there is a 20.8 abortion rate. Even so, people have different viewpoints on when a child is considered alive. As stated by Laporte, approximately 1.1 million induced abortions and 1 million miscarriages at all gestational periods were reported. What if a family had 2 children, but both resulted in miscarriage? Would that still be considered having 2 children? Or 2 adolescents passing away in an accident? It would be unfair to put a limit. Furthermore, many men and women are also infertile and cannot have kids, as stated by HHS.gov. About 10 in 100, which is 6.1 million women in the United States ages 15 to 44, have difficulty becoming pregnant or staying pregnant. The availability of abortion procedure and being infertile already regulates population growth by the thousands. Besides personal choice, there are other factors that regulate population, such as complications unexpected in life. In our current situation with coronavirus, as stated by Kim, World Health Organization declared it a pandemic only 2.5 months after the outbreak of the disease. It was unexpected and caused over 1 million cases, resulting in about 60,000 deaths, as stated by the Wikipedia. Another big cause of death in the United States is cancer. According to Roser and Ritchie, in 2017, 9.6 million people are estimated to have died from the various forms of cancer. Numerous diseases, cancers, accidents, etc., that cause death in young and elderly all contribute to population. Lastly, there should not be a limit of how many children you can have. It would ruin our quality of life. It is your body and your life, so it's your decision. If a mother had 2 boys but really wanted a girl, she should have the choice to have another baby. Nobody can take the ability away from being a mother. It should not even be considered humane for such regulations. Between the women who do not want to produce babies and women who cannot, it evens out the amount of one person can have. For example, even if the regulations were in effect, if 2 women did not want any kids, that gives a right to 1 woman to have 4 kids. Unless the whole country believed in reproducing as much as possible, the process is self-regulatory. Just as the government does not force you to have kids at all, they should not be able to tell you to only have 2. In conclusion, if opposite plans go ahead, Americans will not have the freedom that was promised. Looking at our population compared to other countries, it is not excessive for our land size. China and the United States are almost the same size, but according to My Life Elsewhere, 1.1 billion more people live in China. Difference, which also suggests we currently do not need a regulation. The United States citizens already regulate the population by making their own choices of having children or not. Other unforeseen circumstances like diseases, sickness, and accidents all play a role in population. So far, our population has not been drastically increasing, and it does not seem like it will be. A 2-child max rule is unnecessary and unwanted.